I'm always fascinated by the journeys artists make in their practice. I interviewed Gigi Scaria 2 years ago, and I'm here at the Dhaka Art Summit, and I've just met him. And I've come across these two photographs that he has, which are part of a larger project called Dust. And what really strikes me about both the photographs is this whole ambiguity of space. You could be anywhere. Is this India? Is this Australia? Well, this is actually Kutch, Gigi told me. He's here right now, and I'm going to ask Gigi what got him started on this project. I believe it was the residency in Australia, Gigi, that took you, that got you here. Maybe we can just frame you with the photograph and you can tell us why you started doing this.
Well, initially it started with an invitation from the Airport Museum. I was in Melbourne for 2 months, which was in 2012, where that was more like a research residency. Then I was asked to do a solo there next year. So that's where I was looking at, how I could connect these two countries in somewhere where I could conceptually thread them with other elements than the one which we are normally familiar with. So I was thinking about landscaping. The landscape has a tremendous influence in both countries, and especially the wide range of different geographical entity existing in the same country, which is the case of Australia as well as in India. I mean, apart from its the common colonial connections which we have. So I kind of had traveled a bit in Australia. I was in the Victorian region, where actually there was also the gold mines were initially started happening in the 1800s. There were people from all over the world came and digged the whole land upside down in search of gold. So that was something which was really fascinated me. But I came back to India, then I was looking and I also wanted to shift from the works which I've been doing in terms of, I do work a lot with the urban spaces and social spaces and the architecture spaces within Delhi, in India, and also concentrating on most of the regions in India. So I was thinking, how do I kind of make this meaningful connection with Australia in one sense, and also spread or widen my own understanding about the practice which I've been in. So all of a sudden I decided to go and find a similar landscape which probably look quite close to each other if I look at in India, and whether is there any possibility of that kind of connectivity. And I went to Kutch and I found fascinating salt desert landscape, which was quite something. Which was like really an inspiring space, and which actually gave me quite a lot of things to think about. And it was also a space where you actually connect or relate, and you free yourself, and probably a kind of a spiritual connection you establish to land. So then I was shooting there extensively, and I wrote this work and did a lot of work on it, and it took almost another 6 months on working on the images. Then the final exhibition has almost 18 photographs and 6 videos and 1 painting. So this was the basic backdrop of the show.
What was the reaction, Gigi? Because you've shown this in Australia, it's showing currently at Palette Gallery in New Delhi. What do people say when they look at these works? Do they think it's Australia? Because it could be any space, anywhere.
That's precisely the point. Australians thought, I showed in Australia. These are the images from different parts of the Salt Lake areas. And whereas when I showed that in India as well, Indians thought that this was showed in Australia. So that was quite interesting. Then I had to tell them, this was all done in India. Then the whole point was the ambiguity in one sense, and also the kind of connectivity you establish without the geographical identification. That was something which I was quite interested in. That actually extends you from that particular land towards a spiritual connection which you establish. Because I feel that we all have a landscape within us, which we probably brought it while you were a kid, or from your childhood, inherited, or else you go travel elsewhere and you find a landscape which is connected to you as your home. And then what happens that wherever you go, you equate or you identify, you kind of connect with that landscape, compare it with wherever you travel. So it's an interesting thing about the landscape within you and the landscape you confront. What kind of similarities and disparities which you have with that, which actually create a sense of belonging, which probably is not a belonging of a geographical identity, which is a belonging which you probably connect with some other spiritual spaces, which we may not be able to name it in that sense.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gigi. You can see Gigi's photographs at the Dhaka Art Summit, which is on till the 9th of February, or at Palette Gallery in New Delhi. Till when does the show run at Palette?
Till the 10th of March.
So till 10th of March at Palette in New Delhi, and at the Ian
Potter is
Museum.
Also mid-March it is going to close. Yeah.
And at the Ian Potter Museum, where's that?
At Melbourne.
At the Ian Potter Museum in Melbourne. So you've got 3 places in different parts of the world to find out more about the ambiguity of spaces. I've been talking to Gigi Scaria at the Dhaka Art Summit.